I can't believe it. We finally have a release date, guys, for Overlord, the Sacred Kingdom. I am so freaking hyped. This was the best 4th of July weekend present I could have gotten. Christmas came early, guys. Christmas in July. So what's going on, everyone? I am back again today. I was going to start some work on my next episode breakdown for Season 1 of Overlord. However, this past weekend I was traveling for the 4th of July, and on the trip I saw that we got a new trailer dropped for Overlord, the Holy Kingdom movie. What I believe it was said in the trailer was that on the 13th of September in IMAX theaters, and also in the 20th of September for like non-IMAX theaters is going to be our official release date for the movie. But the biggest thing is this new trailer with a lot of new imagery and new stuff showing us. I was surprised at what they showed in the trailer. I guess if you don't have context for what they show, you wouldn't realize exactly what you're seeing. But I was surprised at what they decided to put in this trailer. Because of the nature of the clips of this trailer, I realized it would kind of be hard, or you wouldn't get anything new out of a breakdown of this trailer if I didn't delve into spoilers for this stuff. So I just decided to go full ham. We are going to be talking some spoilers in this trailer breakdown for the new trailer of the Overlord, the Holy Kingdom. I'm not going to get too detailed because that would just take way too long and would be less fun, I think. But I realized, like, when I was watching the trailer, I was like, I don't think I can talk about this spoiler free and give you anything new that I haven't already provided in my previous trailer breakdowns. I'll leave links to those in the descriptions if you want to check those out. So guys, before we get into the breakdown, just a big warning here. So we are going to be mentioning some spoilers here for the upcoming movie, for spoilers for volumes 12 and 13 of Overlord. Keep that in mind. A few more things before we get started. Number one, I have to give a huge shout out to Adam Holmes 9976. They are our first donator ever on this channel. That is such a good milestone, such a big milestone. I want to thank you so much for the donation. You totally didn't have to do that, and I really appreciate you just supporting the channel for things like that. It's just awesome. Never had a donation before, so I really appreciate that. If you're watching this, Adam Holmes 9976, like, you posted that on a Q&A video, so you should ask a question. I would be more than happy to prioritize any question you send me in the next Q&A for that. Like, you know, when you donate like that, I gotta reward you somehow. I'm just, you know, I've never had one before, so I'm kind of excited to get a donation for the first time. Also, apparently the algorithm helps out if I say this early in the video, but almost 70% of our audience is not subscribed. It would really help me out if you guys hit that subscribe button. We're getting closer and closer to 40,000. It's going to be a big milestone for me, so I would really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button. And of course, guys, if you want to see more Overlord content like this, you got to like the video to let me know. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the spoiler breakdown of the new Overlord trailer. So starting off, we have this big scene here with this big pillar of flame, and Ainz is riding a Soul Eater there. And so I mentioned this in one of the previous breakdowns, but this creature here is Demon Lord Wrath. Demon Lord Wrath was shown very briefly in Season 1, Episode 2, I believe. They seem to have upped his design in the movie, which is great. I mean, he's kind of a typical demon-looking creature. All the fire and the horns and, you know, things like that. Basically, what Demon Lord Wrath's purpose is to pose as the true form of Demon Lord Yaldabaoth, which is Demiurge, the demon form of Yaldabaoth. That's the story, the narrative that they're pushing for this whole thing. So that's why he appears here. He looks awesome. I'm very impressed with they've upped his design considerably since Season 1 of the anime. So nice additions here. So then we get some scenes here with Nea, who, as I said several times, is going to be one of our main point of view characters, other than Ainz, of course, in the upcoming arc. It seems like in most of the arcs of Overlord, there's always like one or two New World people that are point of view characters other than Ainz. Like in the Lizardman arc, it's Zaryusu. In the Dark Warrior arc, it's Amphiria. In the Raiders of the Lost Tomb arc, it's Arshay. Like, there's just always like that one or two New World characters that get a lot of focus. Nea is basically the New World character for this arc. They have like her inner thoughts about Ainz, like saying he's an incredible being. Nea goes through basically this whole arc kind of contrasting other citizens of the Robo Holy Kingdom, because the Robo Holy Kingdom, as defined by its name, is a very religious country, and a lot of their religious doctrine speaks and preaches against the undead. Ainz is almost an inherently contradictory existence to the doctrine of the Robo Holy Kingdom. Nea, as the story progresses, just gets more and more enamored with Ainz and like his power and his dignity and like how how he presents himself and stuff. She goes through this whole kind of character arc in relation to her thoughts about Ainz and the story. It's very, very interesting, and I'm excited to see it animated. Then we also see a little bit of her and Shizu, or CZ7 Delta. That's her other name. Shizu has not been shown very much in the anime. We've had some scenes of her here and there, but she hasn't been shown that much. She's one of the main Pallades maids, designated by her having a Greek letter in her name. You know, Narbral Gamma, Solution Epsilon, so on. All the main ones have the Greek letters. And so her and Nea go through a kind of a cute friendship arc, as you can see, like in the title. You can call me Shizu, I'll call you Nea, kind of thing. It was one of the highlights of the story. I really enjoyed those parts, and just like Nea just developing friendship with Shizu, and it's kind of funny because most of the Nazarick people hate humans, so it's a unique thing for a Nazarick person to develop a connection to a human in the new world. You pretty much only see that in the anime with Ainz and Gazef, and then we also see it with Sebas and Tuari as well. So yeah, we go through here, we see more of Shizu. So we go on here and we see Nea, and she has this bow, and this bow was gifted to her by Ainz. He gave it to her specifically because he wanted to promote runecraft weapons. So this is volume 12 and 13, which takes immediately after the Craftsman of the Dwarves arc in volume 11. Ainz has just acquired the Dwarven Smiths, and the whole point of acquiring the Dwarven Smiths was so he could have a monopoly on runecraft. So he wants to kind of push like, hey, the Sorcerer Kingdom has runecraft, and so that's why he gave Nea the bow, because he's like, oh, use this bow a lot and make sure people know that it's a rune weapon, kind of like a marketing tool. So then we have some pictures of the demi-humans. From the looks of it, because it's daytime, this is a later assault than that initial one that we saw a lot of clips of in the previous trailers. There's a lot of different tribes in the demi-human planes, and that's kind of a main point of conflict for them. A lot of the times they fight against each other, and that's the main problem, is that they've all kind of joined together under Yaldabaoth, and that's the main conflict that is driving the story. So if you see in the subtitles here, we can hear it says, she cares for her people more than anyone else. She doesn't wish to lose even a single one. In this section, I believe they're talking about Kalka, who I've mentioned several times. Kalka Besseres, she is the Holy Queen, the ruler of the Holy Kingdom. And this is kind of a statement that is presented as a very positive thing, but to basically the world and also to Maruyama himself, I believe, this isn't necessarily a good thing for a ruler to have, or it's not a realistic viewpoint, I believe, is what is kind of the presentation of this statement. Kalka is an idealist. She is a person that doesn't want to upset anyone, and while that makes her a good person, it doesn't necessarily make her a good ruler. I believe Maruyama said in like the governing rankings of rulers in the New World, she was like right below average. She was below Ramposa, who is viewed as like the average level ruler. And I've said this before, but that's one of Kalka's biggest problems, is because she's so hesitant to upset anyone. It's hampering her decision making. You as a ruler, you have to make decisions. So it's almost a little bit of an indictment, even though it's supposed to be presented as like a positive aspect of her. So then going on, we have more conflicts. I believe that's Wrath fighting against the angels, who I mentioned before that the Holy Kingdom, similarly to the Slain Theocracy, can summon, because it's like a religious ceremony. And then we have this wolf man here. We can see him. So this creature here, his name is Vihar, I think, maybe, if they use that pronunciation. And he is the leader of the Zosia. They're basically like saber-toothed tiger demi-humans. So he's one of the more exceptionally powerful demi-humans in the Alliance that's attacking the Robo Holy Kingdom here. We see him a few more times. We see a little clash with Demiurge. There's Remedios attacking Demiurge. This, with the nighttime kind of background here, I believe this is now the Volume 12 initial conflict that Volume 12 starts with. And then we have the big scene that I think everyone is excited to see. I can't believe they actually included this in the trailer. We have the Holy Club. I've been seeing this in the comment section so much. People calling like, oh, the Holy Club, can't wait to see the Holy Club. So Kalka is being gripped by Demon Lord Wrath and swung around, and that's why they're calling her the Holy Club. Everyone is excited to see this animated, myself included, and honestly, this scene and really just what happens to Kalka in general might be the reason it was a smart move to make this a movie, so they don't have to go so hard on the censorship. What happens to Kalka is just one of the most brutal things in Overlord, in my opinion. Just her fate as the club is just insane. I can't believe it looks animated very well. I've said this in many of my earlier Overlord episode breakdowns, but like like in the actual Overlord anime, they tone down the violence, even though it still can be pretty violent in the anime. It's toned down, and that's probably because of TV censorship restrictions. So because it's a movie, I'm hoping this is going to be a much less censored version of the story. Just in general, this is one of the most violent arcs of the story. This is one of the most intense, if not the most intense, arc of the Overlord story. So making it into a movie, I think, is going to help on the censorship front. So then we have Ainz squaring up with looks to be, you can see this bullet kind of flying past him here, and then we see him fighting, that's that's Yuri Alpha right there, and then we have Entoma shooting her bullets, and then Ainz shielding himself from it. So this goes in line with what I was talking about earlier with Ainz faking his death and everything. He has, of course, set this up. This is obviously arranged. He wanted to have a real fight and a test, and the deal was if he loses, he'll stay in Nazarick for a year and stop venturing out, because a lot of the NPCs have had problems with how often Ainz goes out into the world, like it's not safe for him. But this is, of course, the staging mechanism for Ainz's disappearance. And then we have Remedios squaring up with Vihar again. Remedios fights basically everyone in this arc. I mean, she just has an exchange, I feel, with like every major villain character in this arc. She is everywhere, and she just gets clapped constantly. Well deserved, in my opinion, of course. 2 thumbs down on Remedios. No one likes her ass. And then right here, so this is the Meteor spell I mentioned in some previous breakdowns here. One of Demiurge's spells, and actually one of his only 10th tier spells. Demiurge is kind of an interesting character in terms of power and ability. Demiurge is a jack of all trades kind of character. He's not a specialist. His physical abilities aren't as strong as like Kokaitis, and his magic abilities aren't as strong as like Mare, because they're both specialists. Spell categories are limited, however. This is one of his 10th tier spells that he has, and it's called Meteor, and it just freaking Maru Uchiha ha Savonya. I swear there's even a moment where they could have put in, now what will you do about the second one? But he uses this spell to destroy the Great Wall, so maybe this is what they're showing, but it could be another time he uses it as well. So then we have this scene here, and you can see the demi-humans have attached they look like children to themselves. This is as a living shield thing. It like I said, very brutal. This is some pretty messed up stuff they're doing here. They don't pull punches in this arc. This arc is a full-scale war, and they are not afraid to use some pretty gruesome tactics. Demi-humans are assaulting a different city in the Robo Holy Kingdom, and they're using human shields as basically a deterrent for counterattacking. And then we have more demi-humans. I already showed you that. We have another scene with Nea and Shizu, just once again showing them teaming up. I've already said that. Nea using the bow and everything. It all looks good. And here we go. This scene literally here is with Demiurge dropping the meteor on the Great Wall. This is the Great Wall. I imagine that's what it is. I can't think of anything else of what it would be. And then we have Remedios losing her shit. Her losing her shit is not a rare occurrence. However, I believe this might be in response to the Holy Club situation. Remedios and her sister have been friends with Calca like their whole lives, so it makes sense that she would react this way. I believe that's what this one is showing us. But like I said, her losing her shit, not a significant occurrence. It happens a lot in this arc, so could be something else for all I know. Yeah, once again, Remedios, I swear to God, she's in so many battles and just gets clapped every single time. It's funny, honestly. So yeah, and then we have this final scene here, which I really liked, and I think this shows exactly what I was talking about with Nea. She says, I understand it now. What is justice? And she's like looking at Ainz and everything. And basically, this is like the development of her kind of almost like viewing Ainz almost as a god. I believe this is post-resurrection because he's holding her. I mentioned it before my last spoiler breakdown that Nea at one point does die and she's brought back to life by Ainz. So I believe this one might be the post-resurrection because he's holding her and looking up, and she's looking up at her, or looking up at him and everything like that. That would make sense for this scene. I can't remember the exact details. I really need to reread those volumes before this movie comes out. And then of course we have our long-awaited release date, guys, of September 20th. I don't know what this means for us in the West. How we'll get access to it. Maybe they'll show it in theaters here in America, or it'll just go straight to streaming. I don't know. All I know is that I wish I could teleport to Japan and watch it, even if I can't understand a word because I don't speak Japanese. I don't care. I'm just so excited, guys. This trailer has shown me that they are definitely amping the animation budget up. I mean, it looks beautiful. It's a movie budget, so of course we're gonna get movie-like animation, or at least I hope. It looks really good so far from the trailers. It looks like they're not not going to cut violence. Like, violence is going to be very heavy because we got the Holy Club. And that's what everyone was worried about. Everyone's like, are they going to do the Holy Club? It looks like they're going to do the Holy Club. So, guys, that concludes this spoiler breakdown. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys got something out of it. Of course, as always, guys, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. You know I love to hear from you guys. Like, subscribe, all that jazz. I did that plug earlier. With that being said, thank you all for watching to the very end of the video, and I will see you all next time. Bye.